can't breathe, are struggling to breathe, are waiting for tests. And when they finally are able to get tests, Galago's own staff had to wait 2 weeks to get back test results. So what that means is those tests are essentially useless, right? I mean, it's not just getting a test, it's how quickly you get back the results and what you do with those results.
I want to turn to Jared Kushner himself, speaking on Fox and Friends 2 days after President Trump's news conference in late April. He was asked about testing.
Everyone's talking about testing, and I have to say that the work that's been done over the last 60 days on testing has been absolutely extraordinary. We're at about 5.8 million tests now performed, by far the most in the world, and you're going to see that number continue to accelerate. We're starting another round of calls with all the governors today to ask them what additional supplies they need, what's their 2-month plan, what's their 6-month plan, and right now we fulfilled all the orders that the governors have. They have excess capacity in their states. Yesterday, Governor DeSantis was saying that he has more testing capacity than he has demand for the tests, and so we're really doing quite well with that. And I always find that we see the leading indicators, and often the media sees the lagging indicators, but the leading indicators, our testing, are extraordinarily positive, and I'm very confident that we have all the testing we need to start opening the country.
So that's Jared Kushner speaking in April. Of course, Florida went into free fall after that when it came to the numbers of deaths and infections. So then contrast this. I mean, you have Harvard University saying there should be 20 million tests a day being done in this country to even begin to deal with this community spread throughout the country with South Korea.
Yeah, so, I mean, the whole idea of preparedness is you prepare before you have a problem. Then if you don't need what you prepared for, that's wonderful. But if things get bad, you are prepared. So that's what South Korea did. Before they had rising case counts, they set up a whole system of not just drive-through testing sites, but walk-through testing sites. They're sort of phone booth testing sites with plexiglass barriers, and that has 2 effects. It preserves PPE, protective equipment, because their staff are protected. They don't have to wear as much of it. Preserves their energy because it's very hard to be wearing that while you're testing. So people can get tested then. They get their results back within 24 hours. So that is timely information that you can act on. Further, when they get a positive test, their contacts are traced and they're put in supportive isolation, which means food is brought to them. They're able to quarantine with support. So if you contrast that with the miles-long lines of cars, waiting for tests, it's really stunning. And just to say one more thing about that clip you played from Jared Kushner, I was struck by what he said about Texas, how, there's way more supply than there is demand. I mean, they were really gambling here. They were really banking on this idea that you would not have spread from blue states to red states. Which is an incredibly dumb gamble when you consider that this was a virus that crossed oceans.